If your Illinois license is suspended and the state says you need an SR-22, SR-22 Direct can help you get the right policy started today. The process can feel frustrating at first, but once you know what Illinois requires, it becomes much easier to handle. An SR-22 is a certificate, not a separate insurance policy. It is proof filed with the Illinois Secretary of State, showing that your coverage meets the state's required liability limits. The Secretary of State uses this filing to confirm that you have active insurance tied to your driving privileges. Several situations can lead to an SR-22 requirement in Illinois. They may include driving without insurance, being involved in an accident without proper coverage, receiving court supervision for certain mandatory insurance violations, having multiple insurance-related violations, or other serious driving issues. The point of the SR-22 is to prove financial responsibility going forward. Illinois requires minimum liability coverage of $25, $50, $20. That means $25,000 per person for bodily injury, $50,000 per accident for bodily injury, and $20,000 for property damage. Illinois policies also include required uninsured motorist bodily injury coverage at the state's minimum limits. In many Illinois cases, drivers are required to maintain SR-22 proof for about 3 years, but the exact requirement can depend on the reason for your suspension and what the Secretary of State requires in your case. Consecutive coverage matters. Illinois says SR-22 coverage must be renewed at least 45 days before expiration to avoid future insurance-related suspensions. If the insurance company does not receive a renewal 15 days before the policy expires, it must notify the Secretary of State. A gap or missed renewal can lead to another suspension and create problems with completing your required SR-22 period. Insurance premiums often increase after an SR-22 requirement, especially if the issue involved driving without insurance, reckless driving, DUI, or an accident. The exact increase can depend on your driving history, age, location, vehicle, coverage limits, and the company you choose. Illinois rates can vary from one carrier to another, so shopping multiple options can make a real difference. The SR-22 filing fee itself is usually manageable, often $15 to $50 as a one-time cost. The bigger financial impact usually comes from the insurance premium. If you do not own a vehicle, a non-owner SR-22 policy may be an option. This can provide liability coverage when you're driving a vehicle you don't own. It is often less expensive than a policy covering a vehicle you do own. Set up autopay, track your renewal date, and keep your policy active. In Illinois, renewing early matters because waiting too long can trigger a notice to the state even before your policy expires. Visit SR22direct.com to get your Illinois SR22 policy started today and compare rates. Or call 888-620-SR22. That's 888-620-7722. Agents are standing by to help you get legal and back on the road today.